Here we are in a 1 versus 1 between Flubb and Little Scumbag. Here we go, we're going to zoom in on both of these players so that you can watch what they do. Little Scumbag in the north in red, and Flubb on the south in pink. Not the best colours. Little Scumbag is Gregorz. Okay. Thank you, stream innocence. So, Flubb versus Gregorz. So yes, two high-level players from days gone by. Bots first in each case, going into air, and then vehicles for Flubb, while bots for Little Scumbag. I'll just call him Gregorz, there we go, it'll be better. Much heavier air emphasis from Flubb, however. Going for the 3 factories there. Gregorz at this point has only gone for 2. Well, you can see how the commander's doing it. Factory 2 P-gens, factory 2 P-gens, factory 2 P-gens, and so on and so forth. Taking into account inflation. Meanwhile, Flubb down here, sending out a pair of fabbers in that direction to grab all of that expansion down there, and one in the opposite direction there too, and sending out the odd single docks as well, not only for a bit of scouting but also to defend these lowly fabricators, so that hopefully you'll be able to pick up anything that wanders in this direction to maybe try and get a fab snipe. But with both of these players being quite so high level, they'll be wanting to watch out for fab snipes, and I think they'll know that the other person sorry, I got a bit distracted by stream chat. That the other person is not going to do it because they assume that the other person will be watching it. So maybe, you know, there's a little bit of mind games going on there. Meanwhile, though, we've got some air out finally from Flubb, as he is known as the air spam. A couple of hummingbirds in each way. Still relatively static builds. Nothing particularly out of the ordinary there. Some air fabs though. Now that, I think I spoke too soon. Air fabs on this map, where are they going? I wonder. Are they going for the raised platform? Indeed they are. That's a sneaky little expansion off there. But if you can get it up, it'll certainly pay dividends for itself going into the later part of this game when the T2 starts coming into force. We've got some proxy factories over here on the west from Flubb as well. This is quite nice, setting up the odd factory just to lock down some expansion here. Rather than point defense, you can always just pop up a factory and then start building units, because that really bolsters the defense of those expansions. Because rather than just having a single point defense to focus down on, you then have units that are coming out of the factory as well as the factory. Provided, of course, your economy can handle that extra build. It's always good not to necessarily rely on these factories for the majority of your force, rather just a small defensive platoon, so to speak. Gregorz now, though, coming round the back with a few docks. He will manage to get in. Will he get a fabber snipe here? I wonder. It's possible. A little bit of air game going on there. Staring each other down. And wandering off again. Running away, running away, running away. Ah! So Gregorz, rather than going down the side there, has gone just to make sure that Flubb wasn't expanding to those 4. So that's good. Gregorz knows that he's not there. But he's also got those units stationed there. So if this fabricator then has queued that up as a sort of auto queue, it'll then get picked off if Flubb is not aware of it. Just going to zoom out a little bit here now, as these players are expanding in their bases. T2 vehicles up for Gregorz now, just begun. Have we got a T2 from Flubb queued? T2 bots. A little bit of a disparity there between these players. Looks like Gregorz is going to go more for the full-on aggression, whereas Flubb could be thinking, okay, well, I'm going to poke here and there and whittle you down while defending. And that might explain the placement of the factories and the point defense and the fully hummingbird airplay at this point in the game. 3 air factories too is also quite good. What does Flubb see of Gregorz's base? Nout. What does Gregorz see of Flubb's base? 2 air factories. So he knows that he's got to at least match 2 air factories if he wants to win the air game. So he's gone for 3. So he's going to match and try to outdo. He's just not aware of Flubb's 3rd air factory. So at the moment we're still even Stevens in the air game. But scouting is key. I say it time and again. I always said it. Scouting is key, and this radar's going to go up just to reveal that these docks are right there. That is, if Flubb is paying attention to them. No, he's set a forget queue. Both Fabs killed there. That was unfortunate. And again, the auto playing right into Gregor's hands there. Flubb managing to kill off these docks here before losing a fabricator, which is all good. Send a spark to go and do that. Gregorz, though, expanding down the east side, where there are these few secluded mechs guarded by these metal barricades, these metal structures, which create artificial choke points. Good if you can lock those down. Fortunately, though, some air fabs were killed off by Gregorz there, so Flubb was not able to get up. That all-important metal platform back there. So Gregorz doing a good job at the moment of locking down the places where Flubb intends to expand to. So the main part now is going to be this cratered area over the back. Flubb already making fairly decent headway into that. Finally getting his defence sorted out on the front lines too. Sparks coming out and the T2 Fab as well. Interesting we've got so many Sparks on such a wide and open map. That surprises me, but then again they're good against these sort of small docks raiding parties, which perhaps explains that. There's the superior air from Flubb really showing its hand. Gregorz, I wonder whether he'll pop up another air factory as a direct consequence of that. We'll have to find out. Wait and see, as they say. Patience. More Fab's going to get sniped here if Flubb's not careful. If Gregorz actually decides to move in, that's all up to chance, I think, at this stage of the game. There you go, so Gregorz wandering in, will take down a mechs there. Oh, no, never mind. Aggroed onto the docks there. Not fantastic. The Inferno just wanders past. What are you doing? Sir. Well, I suppose he's... What? He just wanders by, being a bit of a bullet sponge. As you do. Alright then. T2 economy back up into the base now for Flubb, and we're starting to see some slammers coming out, as well as heavy emphasis onto air, into T2 air as well. We've got some pings. Where was that? I've no idea. The notifications didn't pop up, but oh well. It's not the end of the world. Gregorz finally getting his T2 sorted. Sheller's starting to come into the mix in the long road down the western approach there. Could do with a few teleporters, perhaps. I think Flubb is preparing there. I wonder, will Flubb just use that as a direct time saver, or will he use it as a bit of a bait and switch around the back? Switcheroo. Front door proxy telly or back door proxy telly? Take your pick. I know which I prefer. Really allows things to move. Take that as you will. Gregorz has done a good job of locking this down. Still missing a factory though. Got lots of point defense in the middle, but that's not necessarily holding these choke points, which is where they'd probably be better placed, if I'm honest. Being a bit brazen with some of the expansion though. But you've got to be if you want to play competitively in P8. Push your luck sometimes, but you also got to know when to pull back, when to cancel your commitment. Second T2 vehicle factory up now for Gregorz. Wonder whether we're going to start seeing shellers coming out of that. for a bit of mobile artillery coverage, but more air coming out. Kestrels there are going to be wonderful for raiding against Gregor's stuff. Quite how has he defended? He's got some Galata here and there, which is good against Kestrels. And a couple of Galata in each place, so that's even better. Gregorz is not, however, aware of it. Coming up the back, though, with just a small force here. With about 50% spinners for the anti-air. Quite unnecessary. But, look at this, it's doing a bit of raiding. So you can't really argue. Just got to keep tabs on what Gregorz is up to. There's the teleporter there. And going up for the third T2 factory as well. So Flubb is only just really starting to commit into the ground T2 in this instance with that second T2 bot, having already gone for the second T2 factory being an air factory, and also going up for a second T2 air factory as well. So we're going to have 4 T2 air factories from Flubb going forward, and he can afford it. He's sort of flittering between the blue and the green there in the economy tab. And with Gregor's raiding parties here, not going to make a huge amount of headway, especially not on the home field advantage that is Flubb's base. And only a small number of spinners are not really going to deal with that many bumblebees. And then those levelers are going to be left out in the cold as the Kestrels come in. Will Gregorz be able to notice that and adapt? That's going to be the pivotal thing here. Is he going to go for... Yep, there we go, straight away into more air factories. He knows exactly what is right for him in this instance. If I managed to do a bit of raiding there, taking out three mechs. Just got to start using this telly round here. Bit of a switcheroo telly, that one. I like it. Sending some of his force, not overcommitting, but still not enough spinners. Where's the air? Gregorz. In comes Flubb, though. Ready for this. He's going to see that teleporter if he goes any further. And he's going to be able to kill that off straight away. He's going to wonder how all these units are getting over here so fast. With any luck, he'll wander up this way and be able to see, oh, there's a lack of AA. And he'll take all of this expansion out. No questions asked. Let's have a look at what Flubb's doing, though. In comes with the air. Gregorz poking the bear, trying to get a little bit of damage done to this little proxy base that's starting to develop here. Flubb trying to react just in time, and just enough to scare Gregorz off. Saving the majority of the base and the fabs, importantly. Saving those fabs is exactly what he needs. Going for the point defense instead. So Flubb here has done a really good job of just getting these mechs around the back side here. And Gregor's also done a good job of managing to maintain his expansions despite raiding. So he's still expanded in another direction. What's he up to in his base though? Up to the T2 air. Doing that to contest and counter Flubb. It's now starting to mix in. I think there's a Phoenix or two in there. Possibly not. Oh, yep, there are a couple. I could just do this, couldn't I? And then look down there. Yep, a couple of Phoenix. There you go. But this Air Force here is really going to be taking a lot of bacon with it today. It's reaching that critical mass, and I'm not entirely sure that Gregorz has the ability to deal with it. Let's have a look at those numbers and see how they compare with Gregor's air. Ooh, about half the size. That's not good. Pings from Flubb, quite why? I don't know, but Gregorz needs more air factories. And we got an orbital launcher from Flubb. An orbital launcher? Sire, what are you doing there? With your orbital launcher? Gregorz showing the force of his air. Flubb not flinching. He's saying, yeah, I see you're at, and I raise you an order of magnitude. And I wondered if we'd see these locusts from Flubb. How much damage are they going to do? If used properly and sparingly, in conjunction with intelligence and scouting, they could do a lot of damage. All of these resource expansions do not have any point defense to defend them, and the majority don't even have a small little defensive force of units there either. Those docks really could have focused down that mechs and at least taken one out, but... Gregorz! Finish the job, Gregorz! Gregorz! Oh, okay. This must be the most important platoon of docks right here, for Flubb to have moved his entire air force into the picking. Into the thick of it there. Gregorz is now really starting to fall behind. He's only a third of the metal income of Flubb. A lot of that has to be said for the lack of metal in his base currently. T2 or T1 or fully upgraded, regardless as to how you want to phrase that. We got some, what are those? Hermes, there we go. Forgotten the names of the majority of these units. Good for a little bit of intel. Just place them over a few expansions and you'll know exactly what's where. What's defendable and what's locust eatable. Got quite a few locusts coming in now, but Gregorz, I have a feeling this could be an all or nothing. Brings in the air. He has spinners. He does not have storms. He has docks. He has bombers, he has air. He's got to try and fight over this army. He's got to try and fight over this army. He doesn't want to commit the air and chase. He's playing this very, very safe here. Very well manoeuvred by Gregorz, and the air goes over all the spinners. But nevertheless, not enough. The spinners, I think, focus down into the kestrels rather than the hummingbirds, which is exactly not what Gregorz wanted. But all the same, where have the kestrels gone? Where have the kestrels gone? And mines! Watch out for the mines! Oh dear. Well, the locusts are going to think, well, no need for me to fight that. I'll be able to deal with that. I've got some slammers and docks coming in. Or are the locusts going to go back instead? No, they're going to go for it. Get him a nice bit of juicy metal, even though he's already floating. It matters not. But now Gregorz is aware of the locust threats. So I wonder what will happen now. Well, we'll find out, won't we? Pointless casting air filler for you. We can see right what's contributing to Flubb's economy. Look at all of this metal he's got on the opposite side of this planet. All of this. As soon as I can double click it, it's not letting me select multiple. Ah, there we go. So we can see 39, including some in the middle. So take that back to about... oh, never mind. It's including all of Gregorz as well. Well, that metric was useless. And not entirely convinced that scouting is efficient, but... well, it would be good if he had the power to support it. We've got a few catapults ready. Picking them off one by one. Is it enough? I'm not convinced. Is it fast enough? I'm not convinced. This is a good move from Gregorz. Just picking away, and this is exactly what he needs to do. He just needs to pick away at Flubb's economy, rather than having gone for that all or nothing. Even though Flubb's air is really a potent force on the battlefield right now, this is great from Gregorz. Just wandering around, picking off what he can. Small units, not overcommitting, picking off what he can. And we can already see that Flubb's economy is starting to stagnate there, even though he's going up to T2. So that means that Gregorz is doing some good work. Flubb has expanded all the way around this side, though, and that's what Gregorz wants to pick off, as well as focusing down the T2 as a matter of priority. But I wonder, let's have a look in the army tab and see quite how far and away Flubb is away with this game. Army count 4 times the size. Fabber's relative and factory's relative. Not too much in it between them there, but the economy is really the telling. The proof of the pudding, as they say. And here we go, here we go, here we go. Flubb, Flubb, Flubb. Nom, 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 nom. Nom. Locusts. Hello, Gregorz. Nom, 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 nom. And that is the end of Gregorz's base. And I think... oh, dear. I think that is very much the end of the game. Gregorz's economy just went big time into the red. He's lost a lot of his factories. He's lost a fair chunk of his economy. I mean, a lot of it was only T1 and a T2 factory, but that was a good raid. But it's going to hamper him back a little bit. It's going to mean he's got to now really focus on getting these factories up. And this was good combination of scouting here by Flubb, who could see, oh yeah, there's not a whole lot going on in this base. I can locust that nonsense. And it was so. Here we go. A single dock escorted by 7 spinners. That is one important docks. And a nuclear game as well by Flubb. Oh hey, there we go. Not content with a successful locust raid, we're also going nuclear too. I mean, he certainly has the economy for it. Look at that float. You can afford to put on about 10 fabbers onto that and it'll go up instantly. There we go, he's doing just that. More fabbers, more fabbers, more fabbers. Just defend as much as you want. More fabbers, nuke the commander and then send in the kestrels. Job done. Go home for dinner. What can Gregorz really do to come back from this? He's got to get into the air game. That really is his downfall right now, is this lack of potency in the air. He's doing a nice job of raiding, but Flubb still, at the moment with the T2 economy in his base, is not really feeling the pain of this raid right now. There we go. We have a nuke on the launcher. Going for the P-gens to prevent the float, and here comes the Flubb defense force. FDF for short. A lot of Blue Hawks there. Gonna pick away at those levelers before they even get into range. And so many spinners there. And Gregorz is thinking, well, not Gregorz, sorry, Flubb is thinking, well, I don't even need to send in my air to deal with this. So I don't know why you've used up all those spinners on me. And there we go. Getting ready for the nuke there from Flubb. Keep an eye on that. In Poocher. What is this, Flubb? Flubb? Proxy lob line. Proxy lob line? I have not seen that before, but that's going to be a little pain for Gregorz to have to deal with, unless he can go and kill off those fabricators, but still, That's a nuisance, and it's going to be. Because they're just going to, all of a sudden, especially if you're not going to move in or use your air, it's just going to be a sort of constant stream of units that wanders in a hiswardly direction. Hello, nukes on! Bye-bye, Gregorz. Nice knowing you. Whee! Bang on the nose. Where's the air? Oh, hello, all the Hermes. That's the GG. We'll not let Flubb get that one. Like a cat toying with a mouse, says Death by Denim. Yeah. Indeed. The lob line was bang out of order. You could say it was Benag. I'll leave that one with you. But I've been Marshall. Hope you enjoyed.